Hey folks, Joseph A. Sobora here. I'm doing another movie review in October since it's Halloween month. This time is a psychological horror thriller that came out on July 29th, 1988 by horror master George A. Romero, who gave us the original Night of the Living Dead that spun off the entire Dead series, such as Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, and Survival of the Dead. We even have the remake to join in, which Tom Savini directed. He also gave us the horror anthology Creepshow, which spawned a series. With Creepshow 2 and of course Creepshow 3, which then we have Tales from the Dark Side, the TV horror anthology that did have a theatrical film. That was the original Creepshow 3, as Tom Savini claimed. It's called Monkey Shines, an Experiment in Fear, based on a novel by Michael Stewart. Tells a story about a law student and young athletes who became a paralyzed quadrileptic and develops a bond with a highly intelligent service monkey who somehow became very aggressive and homicidal after being injected with a human brain tissue serum that could develop the mind telepathy of a human. Like when they get aggressive and all, and anger, that's where she goes for the kill. I remember seeing this movie when my father rented this on home video, and it came with this creepy poster of the toy monkey holding a shaving knife filled with blood. Apparently this was based upon the original theatrical poster where they show the toy monkey with the symbols, and it even has the trailer poem, which they did feature in the trailer, where they show the toy monkey banging on the cymbals while on the wheelchair, which causes a lot of protesting through Adapting Society, which is a disability rights organization, where they had to picket throughout the entire theater of Hollywood Pacific Theaters, owned and operated by Pacific Theaters at the time, because they felt that the idea of a monkey attendants turning into a monster is incredibly appalling, as they quote. So film distributor Orion Pictures received a public apology among that, and they decided to do some major changes with the marketing of the film. Apparently, also, it got mixed reviews when it came out. I mean, Siskel and Ebert didn't care for the film as much as opposed to some critics, but most of the critics actually did enjoy it, and they felt like this was particularly original. And they thought this was very engaging and very thrilling. I mean, primal fear of animal instincts that we see, that we never saw before. This was incredible, as they claim. They thought this was pretty frightening. But anyway, the trailer poem goes like this. Once there was a man whose prison was a chair. The man had a monkey. They made the strangest pair. The man was a prisoner. The monkey held the key. No matter how he tried, the man couldn't flee. Locked in his prison, terrified and frail, the monkey wielding power kept him in jail. The man tried to keep the monkey from his brain, but every move he makes became the monkey's game. The monkeys ruled the man. It climbed inside his head. As now fate would have it, one of them was dead. Sort of like an Edgar Allan Poe type of poem, as they explain here. Anyway, yes, it was on DVD by MGM. They later had a Blu-ray released by Shout Factory. which surprisingly enough had an alternate ending that I never thought I would see or even hear about, but actually I never did saw it, so I've yet to check it out somehow. But unfortunately though, they all went out of print and they're going for higher prices. I never bought it. I wish I had, because I can't seem to find this movie anywhere in stores. I probably would have bought it on Amazon. I wish I had. But it's not easy when you have to deal with a lot of money issues and everything going around, or having to be busy with other things. So that's always the case. But if I end up finding them, like maybe at my local Goodwill or something, maybe I might be lucky. Who knows? They are pretty rare these days. But hopefully it will get a second Blu-ray release maybe by Kino Lorber. Arrow would be a good choice too. But we'll see. That just depends on what MGM has in store. I mean, even a 4K would be even better for it too. Okay. But I did actually have a recording from IFC, so it's great that I recorded that at least. But I did actually watch this on HBO Max last night. So it's been a long time since I've seen it. Yeah. Anyway. But it did become a cult film for Romero. This was a different movie that he never done before, involving monkeys. I guess the problem was that he was having trouble with its film length, because he had to shoot more scenes with the monkeys that'll take him some time to do some editing. And I guess that's probably what they had in mind, trying to create some of these incredible scenes here and there that will lead to it. And I guess maybe because of the way the story folds. Okay. Well, anyway, let's get to this review. It stars Jason Beghe, who later went on to do the movie Thelma and Louise, but he was also in Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. Yeah, terrible movie, of course. I can't believe there's going to be a Home Sweet Home Alone reboot. Yeah, I saw the trailer. Should be known as Home Bittersweet Home Alone. Okay. But he was in the TV series Chicago Fire. John Pankow from To Live and Die in L.A. Kate McNeil from the soap opera As the World Turns, but she was in a horror film called The House of Sorority Row. Joyce Patten, Christine Forrest, who happens to be the former wife of George A. Romero. And I know George A. Romero is no longer with us, of course. Stephen Root, of course, you may already know from News Radio, King of the Hill, Office Space, among many others he's done. Stanley Tucci, yeah, you already know him. He's done a lot of great work. He was in Prince's Honor, but he was also in several other movies in his career. He was even in Beethoven. Janine Turner, yes, she was from the TV series Northern Exposure, but she went on to do the movie Cliffhanger, along with Friday Night Lights. And I know she's done all these Chevrolet commercials, among many others. William Newman, Tudi, Wiggins, Quinn, Patricia Tallman. Yep, she was a stunt performer and an actress. I know she did Babylon 5, but she was also in the remake of Night of the Living Dead. And I think she was on Star Trek, among others. David Early and Boo, the monkey, the Chippa-Chin monkey. Yeah, but does the voice by Frank Welker. So yeah, you do recognize the monkey voice that he does. He even did it for Curious George. And it's written and directed by George A. Romero, once again based upon the novel by Michael Stewart. The movie begins where we meet a young man, Alan Mann, played by Jason Beghe, who works as a law student at Boston University, because I figure the film is set in Boston, Massachusetts. He's also an athlete. He was a marathon runner, won several golds in his lifetime. Till that morning, he just woke up with his girlfriend, Linda Ackman, played by Janine Turner. I figured they were a couple. They just got up, just had sex. They were all naked. So at this rate, he woke up this morning just to go on a morning jog. He has to do his daily exercises while naked. He took a shower and was ready to get dressed to take out several bricks and put it inside his backpack, for weights, so that way he can continue to jog around the entire block, where he gets to meet several people around, mostly neighbors and friends and all. All of a sudden, he got into a run-in with a neighbor's dog, which is a German Shepherd, and what's worse, got into a collision by getting struck by a truck, leaving him to fly all the way up into a twist position, and all these bricks were flying around through his backpack, and then he suddenly lands directly into the pavement with all the bricks being broken into several pieces. So he was rushed into the hospital, now being paralyzed and rendered as a quadrileptic that follows his spinal surgery, giving him several days, possibly weeks or maybe a month of a coma before he finally recovers. So now he can finally get to go back home, all alone, but mostly with his family, such as his overbearing mother, Dorothy man, played by Joyce Patten, and his strict nurse named Marianne Hodge, played by Christine Forrest. So Alan already appearing inside an SMP equipped wheelchair, which is a different kind of wheelchair where he can actually control with his mouth. Has this joystick where he can move around instead of having them, moving him with him. So it's basically a sip and puff wheelchair type. He can also sip and puffing, inhaling, and he can even use a wand to control. So that's what he was doing. He begins to do his work and all, because he has to study for his law firm here at the university. But things seem to go pretty depressing for Alan, because it kind of led to a clinical depression disorder when he had trouble trying to figure out some of the commands for this electronic device, such as having to open the drapes, windows, or even opening and shutting the door, opening the refrigerator, or turning on the lights or off the lights or anything. He got so complicated that at this rate he attempted to commit suicide. So he was rushed into the hospital. That's where we meet Dr. John Wiseman, who actually occurred that he did have clinical depression disorder. He's played by Stanley Tucci, which we did learn that he now has an affair with Linda. So this is exactly why a lot of change that's been happening to Alan, since now I guess Linda pretty much broke up with him and decided to cheat it on Wiseman. Go figure. We're going to lead to that. Meanwhile, we meet his best friend, Jeffrey Fisher, who's played by John Pankow, who suggested to give him a capuchin monkey as a service animal, so that way he can take fully control around the house. So that way it won't be such a problem for Alan. But he does have an alternative motive, that he's actually a research scientist under pressure through several produced results, because he has all of his trained monkeys inside the lab, where he took out a human tissue from the brain and injected it by creating a serum to control through the minds of a human, for the monkeys. So now they'll be able to use their mental telepathic, so they can be able to control the human emotions and all. exactly what they say and do. So they become more highly intelligent than ever before. But it only gets much worse than that. Therefore, Jeffrey enlists a specialist in training helper monkeys named Melanie Parker, who's played by Kate McNeil, who figures that all the capuchin monkeys that she has will be perfect to use for Alan as a pet, and name them Ella. Yeah, it's a girl. What Alan doesn't know, as opposed to Melody, was that they thought that she was completely normal, but in reality, she was under the serum. So, since then, he and Melanie have worked closely together, training him, and now Alan's becoming more bonding with her. Already, doing exactly what he wants, such as, taking out those telephone card sheets to call anyone around. Yet, one of those sheets that they use that has all these pigeonholes, and you just put inside the telephone. They're pretty rare, but they could be used for those who have disabilities. For those who can't press the buttons. This is how they do it. So everything was going so well. Even when he finally went back to school, just studying for law. I mean, there's even that moment too where where Ella was raising her hand up too, in a way everyone was, so that way he'll be able to explain. I thought that was pretty cute. Anyway, however, as time passes, Alan starts to grow more short-tempered and resentful than ever before, and to make matters worse, Ella becomes more aggressive than ever before. That's where he starts to experience several primate animal instinct dreams, where Ella was like running around through the grass, hoping that part of this was either a dream or maybe it's just a reality. So it's sort of like a vision right there, where now we begin to find out that Ella is becoming so homicidal that now he's doing exactly what, through the minds of Alan, to do exactly what he says. Or maybe that's what he thought, but he's not exactly who he is. Especially the moment when he found out that he was totally angry at when he found out about Dr. Wiseman having an affair with Linda. That leads to a more painful anger that causes Ella to go around and light up both Wiseman and Linda together inside a cabin. They were there for the weekend and spending time making love, having sex and all, and Ella basically just took out the match and starts to burn the entire cabin with them inside. And then it also leads to several murders, and Ellen's mom, Dorothy, was shocked about what just happened. To make matters worse, we also learned that Marianne's bird, named Beghe, named after Humphrey Bogart, because at times they always keep letting the bird out of the cage, and starts to harass Alan so much that he just wanted this bird to just go away. I mean, in fact, there's this one moment too when the bird started to attack him, going straight to his eyes, that he almost fell off of his bed until Marianne came to the rescue and saved him. But he was being a complete bitch. The way she was acting too. So it took matters to his own hands by actually controlling Ella, by, at this rate, be able to see maybe if Ella is going to take a Beghe out of the cage, which at this rate did late at night, and ends up murdering that bird by putting inside Marianne's slippers. Yeah, causing Marianne to quit her job, you know, taking care of Alan. So now Dorothy had to take care of him, just to find out the news. But then things just seem to get much worse, because now already Jeffrey is just going completely mad because he found out that his boss, Dr. Dean Burbage, played by Stephen Root, is going through his stuff. You know, he's already taking all of his equipments around, including the bottles of serum that he has. So now he's going completely insane and decided to take matters of his own hands by using one bottle left to control, you know, one of the monkeys that he did, and including Ella. So that way they're going to go around attacking him. Which unfortunately that only happens at the alternate ending of the film, which you can find on Blu-ray, but it's out of print, of course. Unless somehow they post it on YouTube and we'll find it for ourselves. Yeah. And at that point on, he was also getting attacked by all these animal activists around because they claimed that he was harming all the animals, including the monkeys. That's why they're going around putting graffiti around his lab and all. And it all happened during this one thunderstorm too, when suddenly Ella just went completely too far, and Alan was trying to warn his mom, Dorothy, that Ella's going to attack her. I mean, he's basically talking through the minds of Ella, so now he's pretty much not himself at this point. But now the way he's acting with his behavior, I mean, Dorothy just couldn't believe it, and even Dorothy couldn't stand him anymore. So at this rate, she decided to take a bath, but then Ella came and took the hair dryer that's already been plugged in and dumped it directly to the bathtub, and she was electrocuted and she died. Just before Jeffrey arrived, just on time to see if he can get Ella out of there, because he already got another serum to actually kill Ella. You know, so that way he won't be fully controlled by, you know, going around killing someone. Because Ella was going completely out of control. You know, he came around, just grabbed a shaving knife, became so violent and homicidal. And then, worse yet, Alan was about to call Melanie to arrive to save him. But then she's being knocked out cold and being attacked by Ella. And then Alan is trying to play his own tricks by actually trying to stop Ella from killing, until he finally, you know, under his control, because Ella was ready to kill him. Luckily for Alan, he actually tends to you know, try to play the music, even though he sort of shut down the electrical circuits, that he'll be able to turn on some Peggy Lee songs to calm her down. I mean, because apparently when they were bonding with each other, they were playing some Peggy Lee songs. She obviously has a lot of taste of music, and she does do a lot of incredible controls and stuff. Does anything that Alan couldn't do since he's paralyzed. I mean, even his hand was ready to move too, as he found out. And now, mono together, Alan decided to actually kill Ella by actually biting her completely, you know, chewing her up all together, until he threw Ella straight into the cassette player, filled with blood around, and now Ella dies. So now, already with Jeffrey dead, I mean, because he got injected by the poison serum, you know, thanks to Ella, which he was going to give to Ella anyway to kill her off. With Melody already knocked out unconscious, but hopefully she recovers. and already, Dorothy's dead, electrocuted. He went back to the hospital, hoping for a successful spinal surgery in order for him to go back to becoming, particularly normal, but he's still, he still needs to walk, with his crutches in order to recover his ability to walk again. I know there's this one ending in the movie where, they were going to go for a shock ending. It was a jump scare where suddenly, during this spinal surgery, Ella eventually pops out of his back, which was a scary scene, by the way. I'll be honest with you on that level. And it was actually well done, too, because it was done by Tom Savini, who did the special effects for this movie. And, of course, because they had to go for a happy ending anyway, because usually he doesn't often put any happy endings in his movies, but I guess it's certainly the case for this one. Where Alan is now together with Melody. He's already been recovered from surgery. That's become a success. So now he gets to walk, but he has to use crutches, so it'll take some time. So now they're heading off to go fishing together. And I'm sure they're going to be together forever, even without Ella. I know it's sad. Now, despite of the slow pacing that George A. Romero had to deal with, it takes a lot of time having to shoot scenes with the monkeys involved. With all the training scenes and everything under control, and plus the makeup effects done by Tom Savini, once again, and all the stunt work that they had to provide with Patricia Tallman, probably did stunts for Kate and other females, and even Savini did some stunts himself. I would say this is a very unappreciated film that he ever done based on the novel. I know the movie was supposed to be set in Boston, Massachusetts, but in reality it was shot in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I figured that was the case here. Even though there are some scenes that were shot in Northridge, so it might have been in the university too. That was probably the case here. Because the novel was based in Oxford, England. Maybe that was the case, what they were trying to do. But it does have chilling moments that we saw. We do see the visions that goes for the animal instincts. I kind of like how they show that vision through the mind of the POV shots of the monkey, moving around outside, running around. You hear this jungle-like score that's being played in the background. That was really something. Well, for the performance-wise, I thought Jason Beghe did an excellent job portraying a paralyzed quadriplegic. The fact that he was an athlete and a law student, you can definitely tell you felt bad for him having to be stuck like this. He felt like, he was trying to do his best to continue with life as we know it. Things are not going so well since he lost his girlfriend. But now he has, a new relationship with Melanie, thanks to his best friend, Jeffrey. And of course, bonding with an intelligent, chapter chin monkey, Ella, before she became homicidal. It's great to see some earlier performances by Stephen Roots along with Janine Turner and Stanley Tucci, because this is before they went on to do something big. Who would have thought they were in a horror film together? But at least now we know that they portray their performances very well. John Pankow, terrific as Jeffrey. You definitely felt for this guy because he's already in turmoil thanks to his boss and the way the animal activists are going after him. Like he just couldn't take it anymore, and it's like he develops vengeance here. But he does care for his best friend and tries to do what he can to help him out. Kate McNeil, beautiful, very attractive too. And there's a scene in the movie too where where they both had sex, you know, while she was like hanging around onto this the stretching pole, you know. Yeah, one of those hangers that they use when they take a paralyzed person, you know, when they get sponge baths and all. They take them around and they pick them up. Yeah, one of those hanging cages that they use. That was pretty memorable. And I know there's other scenes where, you know, Ella's in a cage and starts to wander around, and then you see Ella just running around everywhere Ella wants her to control. I mean, she almost acts like a human. Anyway. And there's some... So... Joyce Van Patten, yeah, I mean, her character was totally overbearing, alright. And the way she's acting just... You know, she gets under your skin at times. Christine Forrest, on the other hand, I mean, she's even worse. I mean, she's a complete strict bitch of a nurse, and the way he's treating him. I mean, I was even surprised they didn't kill her off. I was really surprised. That could have been the case here in the movie. Whatever. So, the score was done by David Scher. Again, had created a lot of great scores for several movies, such as The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, The Big Bus, All the President's Man. But this one kind of gives it a more chilling score in a way. But sometimes they can also go for jungle-like themes, you know, when you see the POV shots of the monkey moving around. I mean, it really works. And some incredible stunts and all. Yeah. I hope someday I'll get another Blu-ray release. Maybe a 4K would be nice. And maybe I'll probably get it someday. Otherwise, worst comes to worst, I'll probably track down an old physical copy from MGM or perhaps Shell Factory if the price is right, but it's way too expensive now. But hey, if it ends up at Goodwill, I might be lucky. We'll see. But otherwise, I'm probably going to be stuck with my IFC recording of the movie. So anyway, that's Monkey Shine's Experiment in Fear, or just simply Monkey Shines, and I give the movie 4 stars. I'm Joseph A. Sobora, and I'll see you later. Bye.